Hello traders, I'm Rick with AmazingAccuracy.com. Today is April 20th, 2024. It's currently 7:31 p.m. on a Saturday, Chicago time. All right, well, I just wanted to chat with you guys about three stocks that I think may be primed for a move up into mid-May. And so I want to share those with you. But first, I just thought I'd tell you a little story about what happened last Thursday. I was sitting in on one of those presentation type webinars, you know, where they're always trying to push some service or something. And they were allowing us to communicate with the presenter and so forth. And he was going through and he was doing his analysis and he's saying, well, you know, I don't see any good setups or anything like this. And I started typing in the chat. I'm going, WFC, WFC, WFC. And there was a lot of people just throwing all these tickers out there, and I'm trying to get his attention to take a look at WFC because I wanted to see what his analysis was going to say about it. And the reason I was so hot on WFC is, well, I got the chart up right here, and I want to show you what I was looking at here. You can see that it had this consolidation period here, which we call a squeeze. Pretty popular term among chartists these days is this thing called a squeeze. That's when the Bollinger Bands go in within the Keltner Bands. It's like a accumulation distribution period where just everything is crunched in a range. And you can see I have put these parallel lines here, this channel here, and notice how it is just bouncing up and down within that. That's what we call a squeeze, a consolidation area, right? But on Thursday, it had broken above that or outside of that, and I was noticing that we were getting positive RSI. That means the relative strength was increasing in comparison to the overall stock market. That's what the RSI is for. And I was also noticing that, you know, the oscillators were starting to curl up, change of momentum. And I thought, yo, okay, WFC looks really good. And this is coming off of positive earnings that had happened. I don't know, what was it? Last, Friday the 12th. Is that what that's trying to? Yeah, Friday, April 12th. So it had been going up since then. And so I was looking at it on the 18th. And it was either they were ignoring me or there was just too much noise, but it just seems like he was responding to everybody above me and below me. And you know, some of the people that were on the chat actually saw it and would say, hey, yeah, that's breaking out of a squeeze. And I go, yes, you know, go throw some water on that guy and tell him to take a look at it. I want to hear his opinion. But anyway, it doesn't matter what his opinion is. And then the next day, it just took off. And I didn't trade it. I wish I had. But, you know, I have this rule. And that is, you know, I only have a certain number of positions on, 5 to 10, you know, no more than that, because I need to concentrate on those. And if I get too many, then I lose track of what was my plan on this one or that one or whatever. And all the notes on charts aren't going to help me. So I keep my list very thin, and I didn't want to add it, but I wish I did because it would have done better than some of the other ones that I'm still holding on to, and a couple of them we're going to talk about. All right, so anyway, that's my story. Let's get into the three stocks that I feel very positive about heading out of April into May. All right, let's start with Charles Schwab. Now, Charles Schwab is a market that I had already taken advantage of. It went positive back here when it broke out of this squeeze. You can see I have this little indicator. This is just a squeeze type of indicator thingy here. And you can see that you had the sideways movement here. But when it was breaking out of here, and it was also happening when I had a cycle turn date, I said, Yeah, and I went and traded it. I traded for a few days. I cashed out of it when it started turning back down, which you can see that right here with these two fractals. If you don't know what fractals are, look up Bill Williams. But it just gives you a good visual as to whether you're making higher highs, higher lows, lower highs, all that stuff. And I do always like to compare current tops and bottoms to previous ones. That's a good thing to do. Excuse me. When I talk too much, my throat gets a little bit on the dry side. All right, but now you can see that we're going through another one of these kind of squeezy type of areas right here. You see this trading sideways pattern here, but we had a close outside of this on Friday, but it didn't do much, and it made this little tiny doji bar type candlestick you can see here. And this is happening in an area that is resistance, and I had a weekly chart. Okay, here's a chart right here, for example. This is the daily chart of Schwab. But you'll notice that I have resistance zones showing here and here and then here and here. And these are all based on previous market reactions to price levels. So you can see like this resistance level right here, okay, which is at 77, price reacted off of it back here. It reacted off of it right here. It didn't dip much below it from here or here. So it's had several periods of time in the past where price reacted to it. And so that's the next level if we can get past the current resistance, which is right here. And that's where price is currently hung up. So here's the thing. Okay, I'm overall bullish Schwab as we are making these higher swing bottoms and higher swing tops. You can see that when it did a false breakout below the channel here back on Friday, April 12th, then it went, okay, right into the positive, right back into that channel again, and then broke out of the other side of it to end last week. And this was all in response to positive earnings that it had right here on Monday, April 15th. Okay, so it had a turnaround, and meanwhile it continues to trade above my positive moving average lines that you see here. Okay, so I've got this positive fractal. In other words, it's made new higher highs, all right, after having made lower lows. So this is a complete turnaround, all right? That was one little tip off. Okay, but we are currently still in a squeeze scenario right here. We're not out of it yet, and we have this resistance that we need to start moving away from to the upside if to expect it to then make it up to that 77 area, which is the next area that I had mentioned. Let's see, is this the chart that I did it? Yeah, right here. So we got 77 and then we have 81. All right. Okay. Now, let's see, any other indications that I have here for you is, all right, these are daily change of dates. I give them lots of different names. This time we'll call them CODs, change of dates. But the first one that we're going to be looking at is the 24th, 25th. These are not two different turn dates, one right after the other. It's that I'm kind of telling you, look around the 24th, 25th, around that zone. Everything's more of a zone, all right, a time period. And here's the thing, okay, if this resistance repels prices beginning next, from Monday and whatever this next week, okay, if it repels prices and you start seeing that prices are moving back down towards the support here, be mindful of April 24th or the 25th, that's next Wednesday or Thursday, because it will likely find support on one of those two back-to-back days there. And once you see that, then you can make your decision as to what you want to do. Now, I cannot give you recommendations as to what you should do. I can't tell you what to do because I am not licensed to do so. So everything I provide you is for educational purposes only. I gave up my license over 20 years ago. And so in this case here, I'm just providing you information. Keep that in mind. So it's going to be very general. I can't say, hey, you, George, I want you to buy this at $4.93 or whatever the case may be. All right. But that's what you want to look for, okay? If this resistance holds come beginning of next week, this coming week, then look for pullback and support at April 24th, 25th, where then you would expect a change of direction moving upwards towards the 30th, and then flip there 30th down to the May 3rd. Okay, but the opposite is just as well. If it starts to break above here as soon as Monday, for example, if we start trading above this current high here, and especially if we close above it, then we're looking for that to continue to move higher up until the 24th, 25th. So you just flip the script, as it were. And then you look for a pullback to the 30th, and then you look for a resumption back up on up to May 3rd, around there. And again, I am bullish Schwab because all indications right now is that Schwab is in a bullish wave here, and as long as it continues to trade along the upside of this ascending trend line, you can see off the lows, off the lows, off the lows, off the lows. Okay, this is your reference. You can plot it on your chart, and just if you happen to be a buyer of Schwab, whether it be call options, sell put options, whatever it is that you're into, you can use that as your reference to hold on until you get to, resistance that falls on one of these dates here. All right. Okay. The next market to look at is Merck & Company. Okay. Merck & Company is another one that is in a more positive, bullish stance. The thing is that unlike Charles Schwab, Merck has earnings coming up April 25th. That's next Thursday. So, keep that in mind. If you're trading towards the earnings, or you wait till earnings and trade after earnings, or you are just, throw caution to the wind, and this thing is likely going to be bullish into the second week of May, which we'll cover in a second. So you say, I'm just going to ride right through earnings so you don't miss a good gap up or something. I leave that to you. But as you can see here, it's in a pretty good bullish trend. It is currently in a pullback. You can see right there. Okay, it came and dipped just barely below that upward trend line, and it closed above it. But right now, what I want to draw your attention to is right here is this weekly chart of Merck. And notice that last week, that low, which is that low right there from Thursday, okay, on the weekly chart, you can see that it pulled back and found support at the Fibonacci 618 level right here. Okay, and then bounced off and closed off of that low. So that's important to keep an eye on because that has potential of becoming a pivot bottom on the weekly chart, especially considering that I paid some notes here based on my cycle analysis, and April 19th, that's week ending April 19th, that's this bar here. Now, if you're using the TradingView software, which is what this charting software is, note that they use the Monday date for the weekly bars. I use the Friday date, and April 19th is Friday. So this is week ending April 19th, even though it is showing you down in that date thing down here. It's showing you Monday, April 15th for that price bar. That's Friday, April 19th. That's that price bar right here that I'm referring to. If this indeed turns on time, this top here turned right on time based on my weekly cycle analysis. So I'm expecting this to likewise do. It doesn't have to. It could be one bar off. But considering that it's sitting at Fibonacci support, I like it to uh, be on time. I mean, who wouldn't? But in other words, other indications on the lower time frames shows that we're at a positive momentum swing up right now, and so we make bottom on here. We're looking to go up until the second week of May. All right, so I'm currently bullish Merck and Company up until the second week of May. All right, now do I have a position in this one? Yes, I have a call option in this one too. So I have a vested interest in this one. I have a vested interest in Schwab. But here's the next one, the third and last stock that I'm going to share with you, and that's Verizon. And no, I do not have a position in Verizon. I have enough position. I don't want any more. But I did notice this one, and I was like, okay, this one might be interesting to share. Okay, on the weekly, okay, we got negative momentum here. However, last week's weekly price bar did find support at the 21-week moving average, and it also happens to have the same cycle turns as Merck. Looking at week 419 to week 510, the second week of May. So I am bullish the Verizon for the same reasons I'm bullish for Merck. I have indications that it's ready for an upswing. How far up it will go, I have no idea. This is strictly time. This doesn't give you price. But I will keep my eyes on various indications to see if it's starting to lose momentum or so forth. Now, Verizon has earnings before the market opens on Monday. So we're going to know right away come Monday how the market is going to be reacting to Verizon before you can make any kind of move on this thing whatsoever. Hopefully it doesn't shoot up straight to the moon before you get a chance to make a play on it if you're interested. The RSI has yet to cross above 50, however, so there is no positive momentum indication here, no positive strength yet. If prices, especially after earnings, if prices start to move higher come Monday, that RSI is going to move past 50, showing positive relative strength in comparison to the S&P 500. And my Heiken Ashi over here it's got one green bar here. So usually I got two green bars. So many times, you'll see a continuation of that for at least a few. Very rarely do I see just one straggler like this, but it can happen. All right, so never say never. But anywho, so that's that's what I have for Verizon. All right, this is strictly based off of these cycle time dates that I have right here. It looks promising, but of course, see what happens with earnings. It definitely needs to hold this support level right here, which is the 62% support level on the weekly. It's also the bottom of this sideways channel that you can see right there. Okay, and so it needs to hold that, not start trading and breaking and closing below it, which would be like oops type of scenario, and then you just want to stay out of that. All right. Okay, well, that's pretty much it for the 3 stocks that I wanted to share with you guys. Let me know what you think down in the comment area down below. And also, if you want to share something that you want me to look at or whatever the case may be, feel free to put it down in the comments. I'll take a look at it, try to respond to you and so forth. I check it from time to time, so definitely leave your questions down there. And if you liked this analysis, please give me a like. If you didn't like this analysis, don't give me a like. But do subscribe if you want more of this, and also hit that notification bell so you'll know when I'm uploading my next video. I thank you so much for watching. I wish you a great trading week, and I'll see you next time. Bye.